only on Christ 17 TV. Back upside your head with another one. Today, we got another episode of MLB Players I Grew Up On. Today is episode 21. If you haven't seen the other episodes, go to my channel, check my playlist. I got from 1 all the way to 21. It's going to be after this video. So thank everybody for watching my videos, liking them, subscribing, and sharing, because you already know sharing is caring for sure. So today we're going to talk about the Kansas City great, probably the best Royal of all time, Mr. Who? Mr. George Brett. Is that Mr. Pine Tar? Mr. Lose His Damn Mind? In the 80s, there was a game versus the Yankees where he hit a home run. He scored, then the umps talked, and they took his bat, and they seen how high the Pine Tar was up on the bat. And after they had a little meeting, they called George Brett out. He flew out that dugout like a superhero. Hat flew off. He ran up to the ump. I thought he was gonna kill somebody. The way he ran out that fucking dugout, I ain't gonna lie. He was in that ump's face, spitting. I thought he was gonna beat up the ump. That's how serious that shit was when they called him out for the home run in Yankee Stadium. I'm not sure what year that was, maybe 87, maybe 86, I'm not quite sure. So don't quote me on that because I'm not sure. But the man, the myth, George Brett, who almost batted 400 one time, okay? Almost batted 400. So George Brett, Hall of Famer, easy call. MVP in 1980, okay? The guy batted .390 in his MVP year of 1980. That is fucking crazy, okay? Almost batting 400 is insane. .390 is nuts, okay? 13-time All-Star. World Series champion 1985, ALCS MVP same year, 1985. 3-time batting champ, 1976, 1980, and 1990. 3 decades of being a batting champ is crazy in 3 different decades. Gold Glover in 1985. 3-time Silver fucking Slugger, 1980, 85, and 1988. And it gets better. Inducted to the Hall of Fame in 1999, he was a lifetime Kansas City Royal. Loyalty is royalty for show. From 1973 to 1993, 21-year career with those Kansas City Royals. He was loyal to the soil, and he was a Royal. You feel what I'm saying? Say that. He had 317 career home runs. He had 3,154 career hits. Now that's a lot of hits. Batting average career was .305. Career RBIs 1,596. He's the only player in MLB history. Okay? We're going to say this again. The only player in MLB history to win the batting title in 3 different decades. No one has ever done that before. Not Tony Gwynn, not Ted Williams, nobody has. Also won his second ring World Series as the Royals beat the Mets in 2015 as Vice President of Baseball Operations. Now, this guy, he retired a little bit when I was probably about 14, I want to say, yeah, probably about 14. There was the only other person at third base to have more hits than George Brett was Adrian Beltre. 3,166. Over, and that was only 12 more than him. Okay? George had 3,154. But George was he was one of those players who gave his all to. He was like a Pete Rose. He wore his emotions on his sleeve. He ran out every ball. I mean, the guy was amazing. And you know what? We don't have players that play with the same team the whole career. But I will say this. We got a Kansas City Royal right now who's been with the Royals, and I don't think he's going to leave, and that's Salvador Perez, the catcher, is the only player left from that World Series team in 2015, and he's still playing, and he's still playing at a high level, but they got to go and face my Yankees, so that's going to be tough for the Royals. Hopefully my Yankees can kick their ass. But let me just talk about batting 390. Batting 390 is crazy, okay? You know how hard that is? That's like every 10 at-bats, you're getting 4 fucking hits for the whole year. For the whole year. Motherfuckers go, some folks go games without even getting a hit. A whole series. This guy was getting on base every game. If there was 4 at-bats, he was getting 1 hit. If there was 5, he was getting 2. That's how good George Brett was. And to win a batting title in the 70s, 80s, and 90s is ridiculous. Even towards the tail end of his career, he was still putting the ball in play at a alarming rate. I mean, his batting average was crazy for his whole career. Ended up 305 because there was some fucking years where he didn't bat that high, but it was still higher than most folks. But when you could win the batting title 3 different decades is nuts, okay? Second ring vice president of operations. So he has 1 as a player and 1 as the vice president of fucking operations. Hall of Fame, easy. 21-year career with the Royals is crazy, okay? And only Adrian Beltre had 12 more hits as a third baseman, because after all these years, he was number 1 until Adrian retired a few years back, and he had a hell of a career too. But George Brett, after all the good numbers, all the shit he's done, he's known for the pine tar. That's what it really comes down to, is him fucking losing his shit, running out the dugout in the Bronx, in Yankee Stadium, losing it after they took his home run away because they said the pine tar was too high on the damn bat. That's crazy. I'm not going to lie to you. That's crazy. And they show that to this day. Him losing it, coming out, and he's in the ump's face. And I swear, every time I see it, I expect him to hit the ump. That's how mad and how fast he came out that fucking dugout. But he was a hell of a ball player. I got to see a few years of him play. He started up way in 1973 when I wasn't even born. So I got to see him play probably a good 6-7 years. From probably like 86 to like his last year in 93. And it was a pleasure. The guy pushed the ball everywhere on the field. The guy could field the ball like no other at third baseman, and he was a pro's pro. He was a pro's pro. And he was great for the game, and I compare him to like a Pete Rose. His emotions. I mean, feisty player. Get in your face, didn't take no shit, and stayed loyal to the soil as a Royal for his whole career. So with that being said, man, this is episode 21. George Brett, the Royal Great, Kansas City's great. And you can hit that like, you can hit that subscribe. It won't cost you a dime, and it definitely gonna cost you nothing if you push that button. And like I tell you every time around this time, these are major league players that I grew up on in my childhood growing to a teenager. And it was a blessing to see all these great players come and go. The game has changed so much since I grew up while watching this game. You can't run over the catcher. You can't slide in the second hard. They got a pitch clock. They got a whole bunch of new shit that kind of makes the game a little different. DH is in both leagues. I used to kind of like when, the World Series came when the AL had to go to the NL for a game. Their pitcher had the bat. And when the NL had to go to the AL for the World Series game, they got to use a fucking DH. It was pretty damn cool, man. And I just love MLB, and I'm going to keep giving you episodes after episodes. And I'm not sure who I got next, but I think I have a idea. And it might be one of the greatest switch hitters of all time. Keep you guessing. Keep your mind going. But with that being said, this is episode 21 of MLB Players I Grew Up On. And today's legend is George Brett. Kansas City, great, loyal to the soil and stayed a royal, George Brett. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. Stay tuned for episode 22, coming real soon to a theater near you.